Good morning, buenos días, bienvenidos y bienvenidas. Welcome to Immigration Spotlight, our online virtual gathering of the Latin America and Caribbean Committee of the Loreto community, bringing you border updates, news of emerging issues facing migrants, asylum seekers, and farm workers, and those on the front lines of working for immigrant justice. We have a packed agenda today. We have wonderful speakers. I want to let people know that this session is being recorded, and speakers at any time, if you would like to pause this recording, please let me know. Just a little bit about the Latin America Caribbean Committee in Loreto, founded in 1985. The Latin America Caribbean Committee, or LACC as it's known by its acronym, was created to seek justice and peace for those impacted by the austere and inhumane immigration policies and decades-long interventionist foreign policy of the United States throughout the Latin America and Caribbean region. Again, welcome. I'm Rosa Lizardi. I'm the chair of the LACC, and as is our tradition, we will start with a prayer and reflection. And so let me introduce Maureen Flanagan, a member of the LACC from Denver, an incredible volunteer and immigrant advocate who will be leading us with the reflection and prayer.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I've
Right.
been reading this week in the paper about new laws coming down, restrictions on the EPA and all of that, and that combined with immigration issues that we're dealing with. Someone gave me this book of poems by Mary Oliver, so I'm going to read a little reflection. At the river, it says, I don't know who God is exactly, but I'll tell you this. I was sitting in the river on a water splash stone, and all afternoon I listened to the voices of the river talking. Whenever the river struck the stone, it had something to say, and the water itself, and even the mosses trailing under the water. And slowly, very slowly, it came to me what they were saying. Said the river, I am part of holiness. And I too, said the stone, and I too, whispered the moss between the water. If God exists, he isn't in churches and mathematics. He's the forest, he's the desert, he's the ice caps that are dying. He's the ghetto and the museum of fine arts. He's every one of us, potentially, the leaf, the grass, the genius, the politician, the poet. And if this is true, isn't it something very important? I pray for the desperate earth. I pray for the desperate world. I do the little each person can do. It isn't much. Sometimes the river murmurs, sometimes it raves. And still, pressed deep into my mind, the river keeps coming, touching me, passing by on its long journey, its pale, infallible voice singing. Amen, and welcome to Immigration Spotlight.
Thank you so much, Maureen. That was lovely. Wonderful. So today's program will begin with our wonderful friend and partner, Dora Rodriguez. Dora, hello. Thank you for being here. Wonderful
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always my honor to be with you.
Thank you for joining us not only today, but in the journey of our work. So let me just give a little background about Dora. Dora Rodriguez, director and founder of Salva Visión, an organization in Tucson focusing on providing aid and support to asylum seekers, migrants, and returnees. Dora has now written her memoir, Dora, let me see if you can see that. Dora, a daughter of unforgiving terrain. And congratulations for that. We're thrilled to have you with us, Dora. And, you know, first of all, I just want to ask, and please feel free to add anything to this question. But you know, we've known your work, we've known of your story, some of us. It's an incredible personal story, very powerful, which you've now written. And first of all, like, why now? Like, you've held on to this for so long. You've been in this country for, you know, since 1980. And so tell us, like, what moved you to get this memoir done, and how do you relate it to what's happening now with the deportations and the treatment of our people in the US and what's happening on the border?
Thank you, Rosa. Of- As I say, it is always my honor to be in your presence and everybody, the creators of this movement of justice, as the Loreto sisters, the Loreto Link, the Loreto community. Um, I think I do believe in divine time. I do believe in divine moments. I believe that things happen when they need to happen. And for me, I have always had the dream to capture what happened in 1980 in July to us, to me and my friends in the desert, and the loss of my friends. And I wanted it to do that in a way to honor their lives, to honor, their suffering and the displacement of our country that we love so much, and our families. And I believe that in 2016 I was ready when I was put in places that I had never really heard before, as an immigrant, as a refugee, as a people seeking safety. Uh, so when I realized that my people, us being called and dehumanized and criminalized and being so disrespected, I thought, my goodness, I have that story that I believe that it might help to change the narrative, to change what people believe who we are. And stories for me are very powerful. I believe in stories. And I think now I decided to write my memoir with the hope to humanize, with the hope to put a face to the story. And as I said in my memoir, and I will read a little bit about it, is not about just Dora's story. This is globally the displacements, the forced migration that has happening and had happened, and it's also bring history of the cruelty. That this is not new. What we're seeing, of course, is more bolded and uglier, but it is not new because we're seeing people in handcuffs and shackles, putting in planes in places that are uh, not a place to send anyone, or in that shape of being criminalized in a plane. But I went through that in 1980, so it is not new. We cannot give this regime all that credit for the cruelty. Has been happening for a very long time in this country. So my hope is that now my story is out to shake the waters, to tell people, continue to be active, continue to learn history, continue to be present, because this is not new.
Thank you so much. Some people may not know your story, some people here. Maybe you could just summarize, about your story, your crossing, and then read a little from the book.
Yes, so the story that our journey is started when I was just 19 years old. That's why if you have the book or you go and look for it, you will see Dora's face when I was young. And I told my son, because he's the one of my kids is the graphic designer, is the one that designed the cover of our family adventure. And I said, make sure that you put my picture in the back, that I actually look like this. So, that is, I said, we don't want to deceive our readers and how Dora looks now. So as a 19-year-old, I was forcibly displaced from my country and leave my mother and my family. They mean the world to me. And I still shocked because forced displacement is terrible. It breaks families, it scars your life forever. You become a different person. You become a guest in a place that is not your own. And this is happening all over the world, and it has happened historically in the life of people moving because of different reasons. So we came to seeking safety and asylum. I didn't even know asylum existed. All I wanted it to do in the year of the 1980, I tried 3 times to come to this country. 2 times I was sent back. I was arrested, sent back in handcuffs and shackles in a plane full of tourists, having nice wine in the first class, and me in the back with my muddy shoes and the same clothes I had for a week. So that's the cruelty in dehumanizing somebody. And you know, I decided to, after Bishop Romero was killed, now he's our saint, was killed by the government. I decided that I needed to flee because of my, uh, I have always been an organizer. I have always been a person that speak out against injustices, and I never know how to shut up. So that got me in trouble. And we end up in the third time, we end up in the desert of Arizona in 1980 in July, when the temperatures were 110 plus, being lost by the guys for 5 days. We didn't have, of course, no water in the second day. Uh, Many of my friends died in that journey, 13 of them, including 3 sisters. They were 12, 14, and 16. And this book is for each of them, because my hope is their story never dies and their story stays until forever, until I gone. And I thought that this is the way to do it, writing what happened to us in that desert. So that's how I got to Arizona. That's how I found sanctuary in Tucson, Arizona, that I called my home now, because I saw community. I saw how people responded to us, to all these strangers from a country that no one pretty much knew in the United States, that was ravaged by a civil war, that was financed already by the United States. So that is a short version of how I end up here.
Well, I invite you to read from your book. It's a really powerful book. This 150 some pages. Really powerful. And you talk about your journey, but you also transition into your journey of helping others, which you've done all your life, even before, your journey through the desert. You talk about how that sort of got you in trouble because you were helping others as well. So you've done this all your life, and if you want to, read a passage from your book, we'd love to hear you.
Okay. I'll do something short. So page 59 of my book is chapter 8, and it's called The Rescue. That's the chapter. I spent the night under a small tree, unconscious most of the time. I could no longer feel my legs. My lips were cracked and swollen. My vision blurred as I look up at the night sky. I remember thinking, this is how it ends. Out here in the desert, without my family, without a goodbye. When I woke up, I will mumble, the Lord is my refuge. The Lord is my refuge. The Lord is my refuge. This was all that I could remember of Psalm 91. This is what this is what hell feels like. I thought I am already in hell. It was horrible. Each minute I feel I was dying and alone. I was waiting to die at this point. At times I thought everything everything around me was water under the most beautiful blue sky filled with millions of stars. It was the bluest blue I had ever seen. This vision guided me into a deep sleep. Don't die on me. Don't die on me. A man was yelling right in my face. Water, water, I cried. No, you can only wet your lips. The man rubbed water across my lips. If I give you water, I will kill you. So people were everywhere surrounding me from all sides. I had gone from complete silence to allow overwhelming noise. So I'll stop there. And then I read something more uplifting for us.
Can I just, before you start on the next one, that Psalm 91 was the prayer that your mother told you to read because it's a traveler's prayer. Yes?
Yes. Yes. I
Can you
carry
talk
that
about
small
that?
bag. Yeah, my mother fixed my little backpack. And when I decided to get out from a country, where would I, if I stay, I don't know if I would be sitting with you today. So my mother made sure that I had comforting food, candies, little money, but the Bible. And she said, this is going to keep you safe. You are going to take this with you. And I did took that same Bible 3 times to this journey. And in the book, I talk about how my mother saw a little pocket in my underwear with my uncle's and my aunt's phone number. Yeah. So, page 140. This journey, my journey, has been one of the tragedy, resiliency, hope, and humanity. And as I look back, I understand that this is not just my story. It is the story of all of us, struggling, surviving, and showing up in solidarity. The work isn't over. We have to keep showing up, keep fighting for what's right, and keep giving hope, even when it feels like there is none left. It's not enough just to witness. We must act. We must stand together. It is through this work that I heal. It is through this work that we all heal. And it's through showing up again and again that we build a better future we all deserve. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Dora. I think that that was the end, if not towards the end of the book.
Mhm.
That is a wonderful message to impart on all of us. And you see the people here, they're your friends and your partners. I think people will have comments and questions, so I want to open it up to our community here. Dora is someone we have worked with, that we look up to, that we love. And Paulina is asking, qué bonito testimonio, Dorita, where can we get a copy? I can put a link in the chat. Other than Amazon, you can
Right.
order 50 books. So I will do that. But I want to open it up to our friends and partners. If you have any questions or comments, please, raise your hand, click on the react if you want to raise your hand. If not, just raise your hand. And
And I want to mention that the book hopefully is coming in Spanish in November. So I
oh,
pray to
marvelous.
go to all the places that we loved and share with our friends how powerful it is to tell your story and healing. So that is my hope.
That's marvelous. That's incredible. Any questions for Dora? Any comments? Have you read the book, Mariela? Sí.
Dora, thank you so much, really. I'm looking forward to seeing you, and I give you a big hug. And also we offered to take her to Argentina, maybe during the book fair. Sometimes, I mean, it's in April. I mean, if you don't have it yet in Spanish, maybe we can postpone to go. But I think the book is coming in a perfect time for the world. And I think it's a great opportunity for many people. As you mentioned, it's important to continue with this mission and to share stories, because each of us, we have a story. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Dora.
Thank you so much, Mariela. Anyone else? Everyone is unusually quiet. For Loretto.
Concepcion has her hand up.
Sally.
Conchita.
Oh, sorry. I see Sally and Concha.
Concha.
Thank you.
I'm on mute now, right? Right.
Go ahead.
Dora, when you said about it's nothing new, I've been telling this to the community when we have meetings, community group meetings. You know, I'm 86 years old.
Mhm.
I came here legally when I was 3 years old. I lived in El Paso, Texas. And you're right. I've lived through this since then. We had in El Paso, Border Patrol coming in at any time, anywhere, coming into our house, wanted to know if we had illegal aliens hidden there. At least once a month, I was questioned to see what my status was. One time running to catch a bus because we're going to the hospital to visit my sister. Border Patrol stopped us to find out who we were. We were teenagers. We were, we went. So this thing is nothing new. The only thing that has happened lately is that it's becoming upfront because of what is happening now. I have a story that I would like to write, but I'm afraid to write it because I'm afraid to hurt people that might be hurt. I don't know, maybe one day I can talk to you and see if you can give me some idea of how I could write it so that I would not harm other people that might be hurt through it. It's a wonderful story. I was gonna call it Los Cuatro Mojados, the Four Wetbacks. It is a fascinating story about 4 young men who brothers who crossed over. Anyhow, all three of them became legalized. And one of them was deported and had to be buried in Juarez. So anyway, but thank you so much. You are absolutely right. I've been a part of the Latin American community, and I'm sorry, but I had to not be there anymore because I couldn't handle the technology. So I'm starting to learn right now at 86 how to do some of
Let's
this
do it.
stuff.
Let's do it, Conchita. It's never too late to l- tell our stories.
Muchas
Because
gracias, muchas
the-
gracias.
I'll come and spend time with you in your room. As you say, you spend time in your room
Yes.
in a good way. Thank you.
Oh, let me ask you if you know anything about the laws now. I'm still working. I mean, that was my mission here. I came to St. Louis and I work with a lot of illegal people. I used to go with them to immigration, do the usual things.
Undocumented people.
But, well, yeah, you're right. And I have a very dear friend who has been deported several times. The last time she agreed to deportation, self-deportation. She has a lot of friends, a lot of good American friends, very rich people. They tried to keep her here, but there was nothing that, the government would not allow it. So the last time she self-deported, she got on a plane, went somewhere, and one of her friends rented a car because she was stopped over in the United States somewhere before she boarded another plane for her country. And this lady rented a car for her and told her to come back. And that's what she did. So now with all this that's going on, she's terrified that what would happen to her if she were caught? Would she be put in jail or what?
It's so unpredictable right now, really, because they're not following the rules. They're not following the laws. They're not following the uh, justice system and, the dual process. So I don't have no answer because nobody really don't know. So maybe she's better to seek an assistance with a lawyer, a legal assistant to guide herself through that. But we can talk more later. Thank you for all you
Thank-
do.
Thank you so
Gracias,
much,
gracias. Dios
Concha.
te
Thank
bendiga. Dios te
Oh,
bendiga.
that's so sweet. Maybe we'll take Sally. I don't see anyone else, and then we can move on to border updates. And if there are any other questions, please put them in the chat and we'll be able to, maybe our other guests will be able to answer some. Sally?
Okay, thanks, Rosa. And Dora, thank you so much. I've known you now, I don't know how many years, but and I know a lot of your story, but still, I'm anxious to get your book and read it. I'm curious about one thing I did not know in your story is that you had already been apprehended and deported 3 times before this
Good.
last journey. And I'm curious to know why they did not deport you again for the 4th time.
It
Why?
was two
how-
times. Yeah, I was arrested. It was 2 times, one in Tijuana and one in Yuma. And they were just doing what they do now, that it was just apprehend you and send you back. That Title 42 scenario was there. And would not listening to your pleadings for safety. The third time, they did not send us back because of the death in the desert. What happened, the tragedy. It was election time. It was election time, and it was Carter going out and Reagan coming in. And so that was a perfect moment also for political play, that either they would have deported us or keep us here. But the most important thing to know is that they left us in Tucson for a whole year because we were witness of a trial for the smugglers, not for the people that have died, but for the smugglers, because the government wanted to go after the smugglers. So that's the reason we stay.
Great.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Dora. I know you'll be with us for the next half hour when we have our partners presenting and relating, giving us border updates. It's just so important, I think, to hear about what's happening currently. And you do that in your book. You have such a wonderful transition into helping others and being, as you say, taking action and just being there for others and creating community. So a big round
Rosa,
of
I see
applause.
Carolyn is waving her hand. I wonder if you'd give her a moment here.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. So, okay, we have a packed agenda, so Carolyn,
Hi, Rosa.
please.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thanks, Sally. Dora, I have read your book and I am still just carrying it with me. It is so it just makes such an impression. And I can't thank you enough. And I think the whole city of Tucson now owes you big time. You represent so many and acknowledge so many helpful, wonderful people there in that city. And your work is just remarkable. Your whole life is remarkable. And I'm just so happy that you will be coming to the Mother House. Yeah, I just love it. So thank you so much again.
Thank you.
That's wonderful to hear, and it's great to hear that this book will be out in Spanish. That's marvelous. So mil gracias, Dora. I want to transition now to bring on Paulina Olvera Cañez. Sally, if you can pin her or spotlight her. Paulina is director and founder of Espacio Migrante, a binational community organization based in Tijuana, Mexico, which serves migrant communities providing human rights education, comprehensive care, and housing, at the same time raising awareness about the realities of migrants. And Paulina, muchas gracias. Thank you so much for being here. You really do bring the reality of what's happening at the border. And please, we look forward to your update.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. I hadn't been here for a couple of spotlights, so I'm glad to be again with you. And Dora, thank you so much for sharing about your story. I really want to read it, and it's so important, especially at this moment, to show that this isn't new. This has been happening, but also to follow your example. So I'm very excited to be able to read it. So I'm gonna start with a few updates from June. In June, we organized a big action on June 20th for World Refugee Day. But it was also an action in solidarity with the undocumented immigrants in the US, especially because of the raids and the protests happening in LA. Because in Tijuana, a lot of us have links to the community in California. We have family in LA, we have friends in LA. So even for a lot of organizers and activists and for migrants, we were watching everything happening in LA, and we wanted to do something in solidarity, but also speak up about what's happening in Tijuana. A lot of asylum seekers wanted to say, we're still here. Like we're not just numbers, or we're not just, the border is closed, but there's still families and people who are stranded in Tijuana. So it was a beautiful action. We work with other organizations as well. We brought other residents from our shelter to Playas de Tijuana. It's the part where there's the big wall that goes into the ocean. And there were from other organizations as well. and we had a lot of art along the wall. The border wall is always used as a big canvas to protest about what is happening. And we had two people from Espacio share their testimonies. One is Beto, who Mary Jean knows very well. He's a Salvadoreño, but he's also a migrant leader in Tijuana. He shared his story, and also another Salvadorian dad from the shelter. And we also had another shelter called Casa de Luz, who work with LGBT community, and they also had a few testimonies. We had a space for protest and also to share food, to share in community. So that was, I think, powerful. And the families in our shelter especially really wanted to do something to say we're still here, and also express their solidarity for undocumented population especially in LA, California, and in the US. For the families that we have right now at the shelter, we have 27 people in the shelter. Usually our capacity can go up to 35 or 40. But we have 27, 9 women, 6 men, 4 girls, and 8 boys. And we have people from Mexico, Guinea, I don't know if that's how you say in English, but in Guinea, Morocco, the US, Russia, Honduras, and El Salvador. And when I say the US, it's US born children, but their parents have been deported. So that's why they are in the shelter. And now it's been months, like almost half a year since the Trump administration and since the closure of the border. But it's been, even though a lot of people in the media say, oh, there's less numbers of migrants, but we don't see them as numbers. We think that it's important to look at what is happening to the families stranded at the border. So we have seen in the shelter a lot of problems with mental health. Some people are barely acknowledging that, okay, this is the reality now. We're staying in Tijuana. Some are still trying to cross. For example, the family from Morocco came and through Mexico and paid a coyote, and they had the intention to cross the border, but now that they are in Tijuana, they have decided to stay because they see how hard the reality is. But we just received a family from Russia who is still thinking about crossing with a smuggler. So we always try to warn them about the dangers, and especially right now that things are different now, that if they attempt to cross, they most likely will be deported or even sent to another country. But in the end, families make the decisions. But we can only try to share like all the information and the options that they have, which are very limited right now. And we have also identified a lot of mental health problems in the shelter, especially with sexual abuse. So we identified the problem with 2 children who were showing abuse towards, they were a teenage boy and his siblings, but they were showing inappropriate conduct towards other children. And we were able to find a psychologist and work with them, but it was also because they had been abused before coming into the shelter. That is part of the reason why they fled in the first place, but it's just been difficult to manage those type of cases. As another example, and I was sharing these cases with Mary Jean, a few weeks ago, we received a young girl from Haiti. She was brought by other señoras, like Mexican señoras from Tijuana, and they told us that she was in the street, that she couldn't speak. When we tried to speak with her, we didn't know if she was a minor or not, but she was 19. And she was just badly beaten. She spent one night in Espacio, but we reached out to Refugee Health Alliance, which is the clinic right next to us, and they gave her something to go to sleep. But very early, she woke up and she had a crisis. And from what we were able to understand from the story, she was trafficked. So when she was found in the street, it's because she ran away from whoever was trafficking her. But because she's a minor, we had to follow the protocol and reach out to UNHCR office. And then they, in the end, she had to go to a psychiatric hospital first. But it was a very heartbreaking case. And we have heard from other stories that there's something happening about sexual trafficking towards young Haitian women. So we're trying to work with other organizations to document these cases and to see what we can do.
We
Also-
seem to
sorry.
have another speaker there.
Yes, and she's singing.
We have about 1 more minute. Sorry,
Okay, so
Carlina.
I want to end it in a good note too. So we have we have single moms at the shelter who are there with their babies, and they have struggled the most to be able to find work. Other families, they're already accepting that they're staying in Tijuana, they're starting to work. But for these moms, 3 of them started their own small businesses. So one of them started selling, I don't know if I pronounced this correctly, yellow, like gelatina.
Jello,
that-
yeah, Jello.
Jello, outside of a school, and also gummies and fruit, like different snacks that kids like outside of a school. Then another mom started selling like bracelets and like jewelry that she makes, and also cookies and fruit water. And then there's a third mom that is also starting to make this jewelry. So we're excited about that. We're supporting them with some of the materials. And this is a way that they're starting to make a small income for themselves. And the other 2 like more positive updates is that we have a lot of students in our Spanish class, and these are mostly Haitians. This is for the same reason, because they are staying in Tijuana, so they need to learn Spanish. But we are seeing the possibility of opening a second day because we have them on Saturdays. So we got more volunteers so we can open another group on Fridays. And we're continuing with the Homework Club, which is a club for Haitian middle schoolers that are going to school near Espacio Migrante. And they come to do their homework, get snacks. We also have we have 8 children who come Tuesday and Thursdays. So we're gonna open a second group on Fridays. Right now they're on vacation, but they're coming to do other things like play games, practice their Spanish. But we're very excited about those 2 projects, and also giving information to the community. So we had a session about workers' rights in Mexico, so people know what to expect when they are able to find work, what are their rights, and we're planning to continue these sessions once a month. So that is all for my update. Thank you so much for
Marvelous.
the space.
Thank you so much, Paulina. It's always really great to get your updates because they are really inclusive of other people's at the border and the work you do. So thank you so much. We will turn now to Jimena Rojas, who is the coordinator and founder of Partería y Medicinas Ancestrales, a midwifery service for migrant women, which runs a clinic in Tijuana. Jimena also coordinates volunteer midwives along the migrant trail from Chiapas to Tijuana. And so we look forward to hearing from you, Jimena. Hello. And you also have someone else who's with you there.
Yes, this is little Lucio, the midwife in training.
Wonderful.
He's
Thank
had
you.
some of the births happening, and I'm very happy to be here with you all, with Paulina too, because sometimes even though we're in Tijuana, we don't have the time to see each other because we're busy all the time. And this past months, June, July, have been really busy. And especially now in August, we are expecting 12 more babies. So we have been facing like 2, 3, or sometimes 4 babies per week, which it's a lot for us because we are a small group of 3 midwives. And it's a lot happening. We are visiting a couple of shelters twice a week, and we'll go to the legal clinic every Tuesday. We have the van to provide care. Las Parteras a Cuidar van. So we're bringing more love, care, and natural remedies. We help with some seeds and acupuncture and different ways so people can learn how to self-care themselves, especially now in times that is uncertainty everywhere. We want to make sure people get tools to understand their health and get better by themselves and treat their families and their children in natural ways too. And also we found a new shelter that is Catholic, that is serving DIF, which means child services. Every time child services finds a teenager that is pregnant that doesn't have any support, they bring the children, the girls there, and she's a sister who is serving them. So we are starting to work with them, and we will be bringing more updates soon. Hopefully, we can start this coming week to bring help to the children that are in that new shelter. And also, Rosa, if you can present some of the pictures, I think that's more than 1,000 words. Yeah, that is a picture of the border wall. As Paulina was saying, we have been working on different art presentations, and the different artists have been gathering to present powerful presentations there. And this picture shows how there is a prophecy that when the time of the eagle and the condor gathers or meet, then there will be peace on the world. So we are praying for that, and it is a huge the wall, it has been painted for a month, and we had a big celebration a couple of Saturdays ago, and we made this altar and prayers and dancing. So we are hoping for this prophecy to happen soon. And there are a couple more pictures where you can see the eagle, the condor, and there will be a couple of events where, of course, Espacio Migrante and Casa de Luz and other shelters are invited. And I think that is the best picture to show the eagle and the condor finally meeting. And I hope this is a positive note, because the hope right now and the resilience is our vaccine to carry on. And I want to show you a little bit of the next picture, is how it is our bird center. We have one in Playas de Tijuana. It's pretty busy. It's a small place. We only have 2 rooms. Sometimes 2 babies want to have the same birthday, so sometimes it's a little bit busy. But we are starting to find a new place in Ensenada. So hopefully we will be opening a new bird space in Ensenada, because the need is so great. Last summer, we started with our mobile clinic, and this summer, we already have the midwives and the equipment, but we're trying to find the right home to be a safe space, a community healing space for the people that are located in Ensenada. The migrant community is not living in downtown only anymore. A lot of the families are finding more accessible housing at the more rural areas, or at different areas of the city. They are scattered around the city. So right now it is a challenge to have big meetings of information or education or health. To bring health, it requires a whole plan to bring into different spots all the help. So we are working on that, and thank you so much for the time, and thank you for inviting me again. I'll be presenting more often. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jimena. That was lovely to hear and to see those pictures on that border. That wall just goes straight into the ocean. It's just surreal. So thank you so much. And your little boy is so lovely. We're going to turn now to Arturo Ventura. Let's see if we can get him spotlit. Arturo Ventura is General Coordinator of Casa Arcoiris, an LGBTQI plus shelter for asylum seekers in Tijuana, Mexico. Arturo is a psychologist by profession, and we're thrilled to have him on for the first time. Arcoiris is a longtime partner, but we are thrilled to have Arturo. Bienvenido. Thank you.
Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for the invite. I mean, I've been enjoying so much the the meeting when Dora read her book. That was so touching. So yeah, I'm thrilled to be here, and thank you so much for the chance for speaking and for the opportunity for the meeting. So yeah, the updates. Yeah, I'm a general coordinator of Casa Arcoiris. We've been, as Rosa already said, we've been loan partners. So yeah, we're really happy to continuing with the partnership. So yeah, well, recently in the few months we've had thank you so much, Dora. We have more fluent of people. I mean, there's starting to coming more people to the shelter. We've been doing more interviews for people trying to get into the shelter. So yeah, we've been busy doing that, you know, preparing ourselves to receiving more people. Of course, we had people that have been deported, so we have deported people in the shelter. Some of them, yeah, it's been like real hard to get used to the idea, you know, that it's not easy to get back since they're here. So it's been like, you know, trying to with this, well, dealing with the struggle, you know, facing the reality that they are here. So it's been very difficult to deal with that. Of course, they're trying to be, you know, with this a company from legal support and stuff. They're doing whatever they can, but it's just going to be a long process and it's going to be hard. So they're trying to adjust to their life now here. So it's been, you know, difficult trying to help them with the struggle and facing that reality now that it's the reality. So yeah, we're doing that. We having more people, and we also been trying to, you know, to find resources the way that we can. We're trying to do some events, fundraisers here in Tijuana. We, you know, take advantage of this Pride Month in June. So we try to do events with some people that we know, of course, with the help of the residents in the shelter. They help us with the food, with some biscuits that we made, some bread and cookies that we also made for the, you know, for selling in the event, so we can just get some resource, and also so they can have, you know, a chance, and they know that they are helping the shelter. It's not just the people that are working there, or, you know, or the chance to help. They also can help and do something for the shelter. So yeah, of course, they are, you know, into the activities that we organize for, you know,
Oh my
the
goodness.
fundraisers and stuff.
Thank you.
So
Sure.
what else?
You get one for
Yeah,
Sylvia.
we are also being really excited for the activity that Paulina already talked about.
Alicia,
Some of the residents of Casa Arcoiris has been enjoying
can't
the
give you any more
activities
mo-
of
any
they are doing the wings of the condor. They're really excited. They've been in these past days, they've been, you know, going to the place where they're doing the wings and stuff. So they've been also really excited to participate in the activity. We're really excited, and they've been also really having so much fun, you know, at these activities. And we're also trying to have them more activities. So yeah, that's our update. We're gonna keep working. We also, it's being hard for them to find job here and stuff. So you know, with this situation from Trump administration, it's not been easy, and it's not easy. It's not an option now to get back. So we're trying to open the possibilities of, you know, they're making life and being comfortable and being safe here in Mexico, in Tijuana. So we're trying to, to guide them to the things that they want to do here, the way that they can be comfortable here, building the confidence back again in them, doing interviews and helping them with, of course, getting reached to the mental health services, medical services. Past months, some of the person that lives in the shelter, she's a trans woman, an older woman, and she needed a surgery in the eye. So we help her, to get to the surgery, to get to the services. It was hard work, but she's more comfortable now with herself, and of course she's not having that deal with the health issue. So we're trying to help as much as we can in every way that we can, and we're gonna try to do it no matter how hard it gets. Sometimes we're just gonna keep on doing our work and keep on doing the community and keep bringing or giving the LGBT community here in Tijuana and the people that is coming back there a safe place, that we're here and we're also working together. It's not just a job for Casa Arcoiris, it's also your labor and the other people here that we are all helping and building this safe pace and safe community. So yeah, that will be it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arturo. It's so important to hear about this particular community, and I'm so glad to hear that you're surviving, you're thriving, and you're serving this community. It's so important, and we're happy to continue to partner with you and help us as we can. So thank you so much. And give our best to Nicolasa and colleagues there. Thank you.
Of course, I will. Thank you.
We have one more update, and that is from our youth member of LACC, Lauren Thompson, who is a teacher at a Denver school, and she hosted us last time for our spotlight, immigration spotlight. And she was giving us information about what the sense is at the schools, especially the Denver schools that have received just a lot of attention and the situation there. So I'll turn it over to Lauren. Thank you for being here, Lauren. Good to see you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, with it being summer and all, like I don't have a ton of super concrete updates. It's more of just what are we feeling, what are we expecting going into the school year? Because as many of you probably have noted, it is a very different world now than it was when we left school in May. So I guess for me personally, and from what I'm kind of seeing from a lot of my coworkers and a lot of my friends who work in the surrounding school districts, is that there's a lot of kind of like Dora said, like just a lot of uncertainty. Here in Colorado in May, we just had House Bill 276 signed, and it goes into action, I believe, September 1st. Which does protect students who are in school from ICE raids. So ICE can no longer, take anybody out of their school day. But again, like Dora said, like there's still a lot of uncertainty in that. We're not following rules anymore. We're not following the justice system anymore. So there's still a lot of fear, and if that is actually going to be something that protects students. I was just this morning reading an article from PBS that I will share in the chat as well, about how immigration policy in Colorado has changed attendance numbers significantly, which was really interesting as well. Just saying that in some schools where they have particularly high Latino populations, they are seeing attendance dropping by like 40%, which is insane. Just kind of to think about, school is where kiddos should come to learn and should come to be loved and should come to make friends. And that's that opportunity that should be awarded to everyone is not an opportunity that is being equally distributed right now. So yeah, I think there's just a lot up in the air, and I'm interested to see what kind of things look like as we start the school year, what kind of question kids have, things like that. So yeah, I guess I could answer any questions if anybody specifically has those questions, but yeah, like I said, a lot of it is waiting.
Thank you so much, Lauren. And thank you for being courageous and coming on and giving us that information. It's really important to
Mm.
hear. Of course, you know, we can't really hear from students, but thank you for giving us the teacher perspective. And I just want to ask if some of our speakers can stay a few minutes, if you're still here, to take some questions. If people have questions for any of our speakers, if you can turn on your camera, I can pin you here. But I can't. Yes, Mary Jane, I see you have a question.
You are muted though. There.
Thank you so much, Lauren, everyone. It's been wonderful, hard, but wonderful. I wanted to just comment on LA too and San Diego. Football practice, I don't like football, but it's gone way down because seniors have been taken off the practice fields by ICE. And the same uncertainty is with us in California. That's it.
Thank you so much.
Well, Jean, we are, oh, sorry, Rosa.
No, go ahead, Lauren, please.
Yeah, that's something that we're seeing here in Colorado too. I had a student who was supposed to be awarded a baseball scholarship and then was not able to attend any of his games in the spring and lost that scholarship. So yeah, that's a huge concern and a huge, yeah, just tragedy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maureen, you have a question?
You know, I have a comment. I want to thank Lauren and everyone very much. It's so good to see Paulina and Jimena as well. And thank you, Arturo. I just put a comment in the chat. Connie Newton is doing a Zoom tomorrow, and I was asked to let people know that. So the information is in the chat. She's our Guatemalan friend. And so I wanted to put that in. I just wanted to share in Denver, ICE has increased activity in the city by 300%. I read this morning. And so my families, some of them have quit sending their kids to school, and some are just plowing through and just pray every day that they're safe. Thank you, Lauren, for your update.
Thank you so much. Is that, Mariela, is that a new hand? Yes, I think so.
Thank you so much, all the presenters. Thank you. I want to give a name, but it's a lot of information and hard work, and congratulations. And one of the things that concerns me is a trauma. I think some of the presenters talk about the things that happened, not only taking the people, but what happened in schools, what happened with the kids at school. And then the other thing is with Paulina, I'm going to get in touch with you by thinking you said something about it started a new Spanish day, and I really would like to get more involved in this and see what way maybe we could develop something and help with some volunteers there. But I wanted to talk to her later. But thank you so much. And this is a concern at the school level. I think we have to really think about the trauma, although these kids they don't have any more their friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I also want to acknowledge Bob Key and Pat Delgado, who are with us, who do so much work on the border. If you want to have any input or give updates about anything that is going on in your areas, if you want to unmute.
Yeah, I can comment on a couple things. The desert is still active. people are still out there in the desert. Every week we're out there, we're seeing lots of usage of the food in many different areas. So it's not just an isolated area there. Folks are, we're not really seeing the people, but we're seeing the evidence of people. So we have a constant presence out there. And the other thing, I started doing prison visitations again several months ago. And I'm visiting a young man from El Salvador and a woman from Iran. And they both told me that on occasions, well, the prison, Eloy is very full. At times, instead of 2 to a cell, there are 3. So, you know, because they're making lots of money. And the treatment is still horrible. And they both told me that from time to time, there have been American citizens incarcerated. So, and it just, they arrest people, they put them in prison, and then they sort it out later. So those are definitely things that are happening. And then just in reference to Dora and Salvavision, there was a beautiful summer camp with the kids for a week, and which was extremely successful. And then last week there was a program. Dora said she was in Las Vegas for a conference, you know, so I don't know, but it was a beautiful day where the children came and got backpacks, and her son, the employer, donated all these backpacks, I think 100 backpacks, and they filled them up with school supplies, and the children came, and got clothes, and the family, they got food. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. And then on another note, on the meeting the other day we had for lunch, Salvavision, we're going to start a medical team to help the families. We have, well, now I think 75 families. Dora said there are 15 new families, so we have about 75 families. So we're going to start a medical team to help people maneuver through medical issues. So thanks to Dora and the beautiful work that she did. Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. Pat.
Real
Yes.
quick, Wednesday, they did start a prayer service that's going to continue every Wednesday morning outside of the federal courthouse downtown, because and many of those people have been in watching the court cases. It's really heartbreaking. People are being arrested right away. But the other thing that's happening here is visitation at the fixed buildings of detention services is possible, but at the new tent camps, that is the big thing now. We've got one that has been going on for several months. You can't get in there to visit because they don't have the cubicles with the plexiglass and the phones. You know, it's just open. And the new one that's going to be on Fort Bliss with 5,000 beds was given to a contractor, did very, very low with no history of, you know, housing kind of camps, but all the trucks are going on to Fort Bliss to start that. And it said in the news yesterday that they're starting to bring in people already today. There will be migrants arriving. So we used to be known as a hospitality city. Now we're going to be known as a detention city. It's hard. But
Thank you so much, Pat and Bob. And if there are any last comments from Dora or Jimena, Arturo, and I know Paulina's there. I can't pin her because her video is not open. But if there are any last comments.
Dora?
I just want to say thank you again. And I want you to know that my heart is fulfilled. My cup of hope is fulfilled, because doing this in our presence is a way to resistance, and we are doing it. So thank you so much. And oh my God, thank you for sharing those beautiful pictures in Tijuana of the mural. Whoa, I want to go see it soon, very soon. It's just we have to find those moments. We have to find those threads of hope. So because as we own that, and no one ever, no one can take that away from us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dora. And on that note, I want to ask each and every one of you speakers to please send any updates, and we'll send them on our LACC listserv, which has over 100 members and people who are interested in the work of Loretto and LACC. I want to include these in our update when we send out this video of this session, so that we can continue to build community, support each other, and be there for each other as we have been, as we heard, and support Dora in her book. We're so grateful. And so on behalf of the LACC and all of us at Loretto, thank you so much, Lauren, Arturo, Paulina, Jimena, Pat, Bob, and Dora. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Gracias. Bye.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Gracias a todos.